And tonight's speaker comes to us from the Women's Morning Miracles group. I had the pleasure of introducing her sponsor a couple weeks ago, and it's always great to see the legacy of women in recovery. So with that, we have Tracey K.
I always love hearing your voice. Thanks to the readers for being of service. And thanks to Tim.
Thank you.
I love Tim. Anytime I hear Tim's voice, or I get a message from Tim, or anytime I come here to NABA, I'm always reminded of the love of Alcoholics Anonymous and the service. So Tim, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to participate in my own recovery. I never, ever want to share my story. The reasons for that always change, but the fundamental idea behind it is my ego. My ego always is edging God out and telling me that I am not worthy to be up here, that I am separate from you, that I don't have anything to tell you, that I'm different. And that's a lie. It's just not true. I need you. And you need me. My name is Tracey, and I'm a grateful alcoholic who has, hey, thanks. I'm up here today because I have found a solution. I have found a solution to what doctors and psychiatrists and the medical profession will tell you that they, to this day, still do not have an answer to without pointing to some sort of power that is outside of human form. God, I offer myself to you to build with me and to do with me as you will. Relieve me of the bondage of self so that I may better do your will. Take away my difficulties so that victory over them may simply bear witness to those that I will help of your power, of your love, and of your way of life. May I do your will always. Amen. Okay, so now it's out of my hands, which is always a good damn thing, and we're just going to leave the rest of this thing up to God. So with that, my sobriety date is September the 12th, 2012. I just celebrated 12 years of this way of life. I have a home group, Alex, that Alex just talked about. It's Morning Miracles, and it's just south of Gainesville, Georgia, maybe about 20 minutes. So if you're ever up that way, we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning where the miracles happen, and we call ourselves Little Miracles. And it's such a beautiful meeting. We also have a Zoom meeting that's on Wednesday mornings at 9, so you can come and join us from anywhere. So see me after the meeting if you want those codes. I'm also a Zoomaholic. I get that from my sponsor. And so I'm also a member of a ton of Zoom meetings. We Zoom on Monday and Friday at 10 a.m., and that's women only. Sorry, guys. And on Wednesday nights, we open it up for everybody. It's inclusive, and that's at 7 p.m. We call it the Happy, Joyous, and Free meeting. So I'm happy to share that information with you. If you're blessed enough to drink the Kool-Aid in Alcoholics Anonymous, then these things might happen for you. I've been a greeter, I've been a discussion leader, I've been the birthday cake person, the coffee and the literature person, the chairperson, the secretary, the alternate general service representative, the GSR, the corrections representative, the grapevine representative, the PIPCP, and I have no idea what in the hell that stands for. I've volunteered at over a dozen conventions, including the AA International in 2015, and I'm really excited about the one that's coming up in 2025 in Vancouver. I sponsor a lot of women. A lot of women. Some of them are dead. Some of them are in jail. Some of them are here tonight, and you heard from them already. I never say no, and I do all of that really selfishly to make sure that Alcoholics Anonymous is here for me and also here for my kids and for my grandkids. I tell you that whole rap sheet that I have in AA, so I can also then share with you the rap sheet that I had outside of AA. Before I got here, I want you to know that I lied. I cheated. Whew. I stole. I stabbed you in the back. I put me first. I was always right. And you were always wrong and really stupid. I was arrested for DUI. I was arrested for writing fake prescriptions. I put alcohol and drugs before my job, my husband, my kids. I went to work drunk. I drove my kids around drunk. I drove your kids around drunk. I taught your kids while I was drunk. I stole from my parents, my grandparents. I manipulated you. I tore you down. I destroyed and demolished anyone who got in the way of me and a drink. No matter the cost. All that said, I'm really, really grateful that the person who's standing up here before you right now is not the person at all who is in that story. Thank you, God. Today I have the most beautiful life. God is always my first conversation. My children are 21 and 18 years old, and they are living their best life. My husband, he's in love with me. We are absolutely in adoration of each other. We love one another. I have just finished the most beautiful and fruitful career in education. My husband owns a small business, and he's really looking forward to retiring soon, and we have great plans to travel the world together. To be an alcoholic, to me, makes just a lot of sense. I understand that. I truly believe that I was born with DNA that had alcoholism in it. I don't really think that that's fully understood by science, but somehow in the spiritual realm of things, it's in here. All up in here. My parents are very, very heavy drinkers. My grandparents were heavy drinkers. My aunt died as a direct result of alcoholism. My great-grandparents, I could keep going. So it's in here. And I am the first generation to step out of that. What a gift. I looked up the definition of alcoholic, and it said it's a chronic dis-ease in which a person craves drinks that contain alcohol. And they're unable to control his or her drinking. And then right below that it said that the CDC, the Center for Dis-ease Control, said that 8 or more drinks per week for a female and 15 or more drinks for a male would put you in that category. Well, first I had a quick issue with the fact that female, male, like what's up with that? And then the whole CDC thing hit me, like Center for Disease Control. So there's that. But in the idea that I don't need that information anymore, I used to look stuff like that up to prove I wasn't an alcoholic. But now that I have the information that you guys have given me, and I understand, I can look back and I can see it. I can see how I needed so desperately to fix and control the fact that I was just like not cool until I had the drink early on. It started out with things like sensitivity issues. I really struggled with like food. I still struggle with like you gotta peel the skin off the tomato for me to eat it. I won't eat it if it's got onions in it. Like when socks, the little toe line on the sock, like I'm not doing it. I don't like socks. I'm here in flip flops. I wear them all winter long because I don't want the sock. Or when like pants. I mean, I have them on now, but the idea that when I would put on a pair of pants, my mom would put the pants on me. And when you sit down, especially jeans, it was cause yoga pants and stuff like that, I'll wear those. But they didn't have those when I was little, yoga pants. When you put on a pair of jeans and you sit down in them, the zipper area, you know, it kind of comes up a little bit, right? In this spot where we've already discussed my thing with being male, female, all that. I'm a female, and I don't have anything right there in that area. So when I sit down in the jeans, it like gives me something there. And I don't have nothing there. And I don't like that. So sensitivity issues. I wouldn't wear the jeans because I don't have a penis. I don't want to look like I have a penis, so I'm not wearing the pants. It was my way or the highway. So when my parents are trying to put me in like, you know, sports or something like that, you should wear some pants. I'm like, no, I'm out there in a dress. It was real. It was real. So we moved around a lot. My dad was climbing the corporate ladder, and so we were always on the move. I never sat for long. We were on the go. When I moved in 3rd grade, and my parents drink, every day. And 3rd grade, I made a friend. Was so excited. Her name was Carrie Beth, and she was spending the night. A sleepover, so excited. And my parents are next door, drinking, partying, having a good time. Good parents. I had a good upbringing. Middle class, upper middle class. And they're having a good time in the neighbor's backyard, Friday night, doing what they do. Me and my friend Carrie Beth are having a blast. And this was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it's very hilly. I'll never forget, the mom comes screaming up the driveway, throws open her car door, runs and grabs Carrie Beth, throws her over her shoulder, and starts screaming at my parents. How dare you do this? I've been calling the house to check on my daughter. Now, my parents, the phone on the wall back in the day, right? My parents aren't answering because they're next door drinking, having a good time. And here you are with all this alcohol, drinking like this while you're in charge of my daughter. I had never seen anything like that before. And I remember just crying. You will never ever have my daughter over here again. You will not have anything to do with my child. And I never saw Carrie Beth again. And I remember at that moment hating alcohol, hating the fact that my parents drank. I will never be like them. And then I forgot how quickly I forgot. Just a few short years later in 8th grade, I would have my very first blackout, where alcohol gave to me that spiritual significance, that feeling of, this too shall pass. And from that moment on, I drank. I drank so that all things could come and go, and it didn't matter. And I held on to that alcohol. I didn't understand until I found Alcoholics Anonymous that the steps would lead me to that exact same thing. The steps would lead me right to this beautiful God that would always give me that same feeling, that spiritual significance that, hey, Tracey, this has come to pass. Just hold on a minute. When I got to you guys, the whole God concept was, I wasn't having it. I wouldn't even capitalize the word God my whole life. Like, I thought it's not a proper noun. It's not even a real thing. So I'm sure as hell not going to capitalize it. And if you did, I just would laugh at you like, so dumb, so stupid. My parents are controllers. I learned that from them. I learned that you can control all things. All things are under your power. You got to look good. Aesthetics, super important. And then you drink. You can control the outcome. Drink. Just work harder. Drink. Do better. Drink. Do more. Drink. The God of your intellect will solve all your problems. Drink. Move. Drink. Move again. Drink some more. And then the big one, the dis-ease of perception. All is well. This is what it's supposed to look like. Drink. Cheers. I'm not okay. Drink. Cheers. It'll pass. Just drink. Okay. And that delusion, the definition of a delusion is that, hey man, this is how it's supposed to go. You're doing it. You're doing it correctly. The way you're doing it's the only way to do it. There is no other way. And that's how I ran. There is no other way. So we're on the right path. This is my way. My way. Not the way. Not God's way. My way. Drink. So off to college I go, and there I find myself quite alone, and I took off to get as far away from my parents as I could, because this whole controlling thing was really getting on my nerves. Drink. And they were living in Pennsylvania at the time. This was after, I think I had a good 8 or 9 moves under my belt, and so why not move again? And so I went as far away from them as I possibly could, which was down here to you guys in Georgia. And I got down here and I was really, really alone. And I found myself using all things possible to block out the sunlight of the spirit. So all the alcohol, all the drugs, all the guys, all the food. Ran into a huge eating disorder, bulimia. So not only eat, but throw it back up. That'll be cool. And that also creates a feeling in you, in me, creates a feeling in me that I've got some kind of power, some kind of control. It also alters my state of mind. So I'm all over the place, controlling the crap out of everything, and then drink, or eat, or do drugs, or go to the guys. It didn't matter. And I was all over the place. And it's fine. Drink. My man, then I meet my man, and he can drink like I drink. He can party like I party. He can laugh like I laugh. He's not as smart like I'm smart. But he's really witty. So we marry. And we're lulled to sleep by alcohol. And so we continue like that, asleep. We're just asleep. We're doing all the things. We have kids in our sleep. We start a business in our sleep. We buy a house in our sleep. We buy another house in our sleep. And we make friends in our sleep. And so as I wrap up this whole part of what it was like, the delusion that I'm okay, that all is well, but God is not here, just Tracey and the drink. It's gotten to the point where alcohol is every day, and there's Midtown music festivals happening, and we're fighting in our sleep, my husband and I, about who's gonna babysit our children, and because we couldn't find someone to watch the kids, but we wanted to go to Midtown Music Festival and drink together. So rock, paper, scissors, he gets to go. I'm mad. I have to babysit my own children, and so off he goes. And I then make a decision when the babysitter across the street was going to be home later that night, and so she agrees. She's 13. She agrees to come over and sit with the kids for just a minute so I can go get a thank you. And I do, and I come home because I have to count the drinks so I can drive, and you know how all that goes. And I get home and I pour the biggest, hugest, monstrous glass of wine. I was a wino, and my husband calls, and he's upside down on 985. He's flipped his car, one car accident, and he is so drunk. And all I hear is, I'm upside down, I'm on 985. Help. Call the babysitter, she comes back over, I jump in the car, because I'm not drunk. I counted the drinks, fine. Jump in the car, and I have to drive past the accident so I see it, and then I come up behind the accident, and he's in the ambulance, and they're taking him to the hospital. But the car is trashed, everything's spread out all over the road, and I'm sure he's dead. I go running up to the state trooper, and I'm like, officer, oh my God, what happened? That's my husband. I don't know how many H's you can and hole with alcohol on your breath. He says, ma'am, have you been drinking? Have you? Yes. So I take my husband's DUI. The cop never makes it up there to the hospital to give him the DUI he so rightly deserved. But y'all, that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop my drinking. My husband stops drinking. He slows way, way down. Me? No. I keep right on going. I start turning into, I got the pills popping now. I got the secret doctor on the side, right? I got busted for writing a fake script, so now I got to find it somewhere else. I'm going at it. I'm an alcoholic. I'm in the delusion. This is how it's done. So I keep going for a couple more years, and I try to stop. I do all the things that it talks about in our book, and none of that works. And so the end for me was I was taking alcohol in an Nalgene bottle to the school building as a teacher. And my ego's like, oh, this is going to not go good for you. You're going to be plastered on the front page of the newspaper. And something in me one day was like, I'm going to end it all. And so I go to the grocery store and I buy multiple bottles of wine and all my pills, and I tunnel down into this cemetery just down the street from my home group. And I'm just going to end it all. But at the time I was seeing a therapist because that was going to fix all my problems. And I had divulged a little bit about what I was doing, but not all of it. Because who wants to be rigorously honest? And she had given me a little card, rehab place. And instead of taking all those pills and finishing all that wine, I called that phone number, and off to rehab I went. And that incomprehensible demoralization occurred. So that was the end of my drinking. It wasn't the last day because I had to take alcohol with me on my road trip to the rehab, and I had to drink alcohol before I went into the rehab. I had no idea they were going to give me a breathalyzer, so I was really embarrassed. The idea that when I came here to you, I would like to tell you that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way that I behaved. I apologize. I was extremely rude. I was not kind. I'm not that person anymore. I hope you can forgive me. Because when I got to you, I told you to F off. I didn't want what you had. The only reason I stuck around was because there was this one little line in the back of the book, this one little quote that somebody directed me to by Herbert Spencer. Something about contempt prior to investigation that can keep a woman in everlasting ignorance. And I was like, I'm not going to be ignorant. Don't call me ignorant. The God of my intellect is going to get me by. So I'll investigate your steps. And I told you how stupid they were. And I told you how God didn't exist. And I told you how it was all stupid. And I was blatant about it. And I marched around with my head so high that you could see straight up my nose. So I had to learn the steps. It says God does not make too hard terms for those who seek God. It didn't happen, I wasn't even seeking. Somebody said once, obedience before the evidence. That's all you gotta do. I didn't even like that. But I was desperate. But not even of my own making. I was just desperate because everybody was pointing at me. When I began to just learn about the steps, that miracle you guys tell me about all the time, it happened all of a sudden. I found myself able to go a day or two without a drink. And that was something I had not been able to do on my own free will. I could not do that on my own. And here I was, like, what? Okay, well, I'll keep investigating. And as I continue to do that, I continue to find a little more ease and comfort that alcohol used to give me. And the trouble wasn't coming, just the peace and the ease. And so I kept on staying, and as I did that, I began to not just learn the steps, but I began to actually do them. And in doing the steps, I was finding that I was doing them with you. I was doing them with others. And now I practice the steps. I actually practice them on a daily basis. And in practicing them on a daily basis, what I have been given is this. I have been given this amazing life. Y'all, these steps have led me to a place that I did not know existed. I did not have any idea. And I would really like to keep it that way. When I found that all I had to do was be honest, well, I took that piecemeal myself. Step one, this idea of honesty, what I have found is that the only thing that I have to be 100% sure of is that I am powerless over alcohol, period. That I cannot drink alcohol safely or in any form whatsoever. So I'm at work and there's, I was the minority. And so there's always this crazy food that's coming in and I never know what it is, but I always want to eat it. And it was some cake, and I put it in my mouth. This was just last year. I put it in my mouth, and my mouth starts tingling. Whoop! What is that? I know what that is. I have not had that in a long time. And my whole body lit up on fire. I thought about eating the rest of the cake. That's the only part of that powerlessness that I am absolutely 100% clear on, that I am powerless when it comes to alcohol. But it says in the book, like, I'm powerless over alcohol, and then there's this long dash right there after that word alcohol, which indicates that there are also other things that I can be powerless with. And so I have this beautiful practice that I do every single day, where I get to also look at the fact that I'm powerless over a bunch of other stuff too. Like, I'm powerless over you. I'm powerless over whether you're even paying attention right now. I'm powerless over my husband. I'm powerless over the fact that right now I'm sweating so bad I'm about to die. I'm powerless. As I continue to work the steps and practice the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, I look at this step one every day. What am I powerless over? And I continue to recognize that I'm powerless over all things. And I don't like that. Because I come from control. I come from the place of control, and I want to control it. And if I can just make it look this way, then it'll all be good. I'll be okay. I'll fear less. If I know what it's going to look like, but I can't control the future. Right? So I stay there all the time. Every day I wake up and I take a look at this powerlessness. But then what comes after that, y'all, is hope. Step two, I'm always coming to believe. Every single day I am coming to believe that there is hope. I have so much hope. I have so much hope because I have found it. I have found a power that is so much greater than any human power. And every day I get to take a look at what does that power look like. God is love. God is hope. God is in you. God is good. God is here. And all is well. And I can take a look at that all the time. And I can also take a look at what is God not. God is not in my worrying. God is not anger. God is not me running around like a chicken with no head trying to figure this crap out. It says be still and know. Not run around crazy trying to figure it all out. I'm always coming to believe every day that there is a power out there. And that takes me to my faith, to step 3, to this faith that I have, that this power is always restoring me when I think I have some power in and of my own self. And then this whole prayer business, constant prayer. I'm supposed to tell you what happened, what it was like, what happened, what it was like, and what it's like now. What happened was that I could not capitalize the word God. I could not pray. I would not pray. The first time I ever prayed earnestly, there was no one at my house. Not a soul was home. I locked all the doors. I went into my bedroom, I locked the bedroom door. I went into the bathroom, I locked the bathroom door. I took a towel, I put the towel down the bottom of the bathroom door. I went into the closet, shut the closet door, put a towel down in the closet. It didn't have a lock, or I would have locked it. And that was the first time I got down on my knees and ever earnestly prayed. I don't want anybody to see what it was like. That's what happened. What it's like today, I was in the bathroom. My name's Tracey. I'm an alcoholic. And I was in the bathroom and somebody came in and said, I thought they said Tracey, but they said Gracie. And they said, Tracey, what are you doing? And I was on my knees praying in the bathroom, here, out loud. And I almost said, I'm over here praying on my knees. That's what it's like today, y'all. Woo! Okay. Steps 4 and 5, courage and integrity. What? Integrity? Like I have that today? I can actually take a look at what's going on when I'm diseased. I don't need to go to the CDC. I can go to steps 4 and 5. I can actually take a look. You're upsetting me. I'm bothered by you. Well, that spiritual axiom is well, then there's something the matter with you, Tracey. And I'm like, oh, man, that sucks. But okay, I can do something about that, because I am powerless, back to step 1, over you. But I am always coming to believe in this beautiful faith that I have, that I, with God's help, can do something about me. So, step 4, I get to take a look at that. I can actually do something about that stuff. And then, y'all, I have the most beautiful sponsor and the most beautiful sponsees, and they do this dirty work. I'm dirty. They do it with me. They listen to me. They take all my stuff, and they're like, yeah, no. But it's okay. Without God's help, could you have done any better? And I'm like, yeah, no. Without God's help, no. This is dirty. Ugh. I can't. Without God, this is what I look like. And I'm like, okay. Well, do you want to step into God? Yeah, I do. Okay, let's go. Step 6 and 7, the separation of the boys from the men. There we go with that boy and man and girl thing. This willingness and humility today. I was told that my defects of character, my defenses, things like put up to, like, come on, you got something? Bring it. Let's go. I'm gonna defend my character, my personality. Like, this is who I am. You got a problem with that? Let's go. You're gonna see those character defects happening on the outside. You're gonna see that stuff coming out. But the shortcomings in step 7, that stuff happens on the inside. You don't see me coming up short. Like, that's between me and God. I feel that stuff happening on the inside. And today, when I feel that stuff going on, I can reach for God. But I'm human. These are spiritual principles. I'm often falling backwards in the steps, and they come out, and it happens, and then I go right back to 4, and I can fix it. And I'm always in steps 1, 2, and 3 because I'm completely powerless. But then I have so much hope, y'all, so much hope, because God is love. And then I have this faith today. Okay. And then if I have the ability to do all of that, then I can definitely step into making some amends. I can take a look at the list. And when I talk about step 10, man, it tells me in the book that in step 10 I have entered the world of the spirit. And like I should write down the date, like when that happened, when I entered that world. And I didn't ever do that, so I'm not sure when it happened, but I know that I'm there. I know that I go there often, but I can't stay there all the time. So I bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I come to believe and then I forget. And then I come back to believe, and then this beautiful process of step 10 where it's a daily thing. And God is never ever in tomorrow. And God is never ever in yesterday. God is only right here, right now. And so if I'm working this thing on a daily basis, I'm always hanging out with God. And I get to take a look at that. It's the most beautiful thing ever. And when I'm in step 11, when I'm working on some kind of conscious contact, like my husband's real big into like the aliens and stuff like that. And so then I always get to jump in with have you made conscious contact with them? Have you done your prayer meditation? I have the most beautiful practice, but it has been just that. It has been a practice. It started out, I told you already. I had to lock the damn doors. And now, God wakes me up in the morning early before anybody else in the house gets up. And I get to go be with God for like an hour by myself, just me and God. It's a practice. To be here with you tonight, to do the thing that I just hate to do, which is to stand up here and to watch Tim serve the way he serves. To look out in the audience and see my girls, to know the way they serve others, not themselves. Obedience before the evidence. That's what had to happen for me. Addiction is about abuse of power. Lack of power was my dilemma. It's not anymore. I know where I can go to get it at any time. It's a choice for me today. Alcohol no longer has taken that from me. Today I have a choice, and I'm so grateful for it. Woo! Today, y'all, today, I surrender myself instead of serve myself. Alcoholics Anonymous. And its 12 steps are a group of principles. They're spiritual in their nature. Spiritual in their nature. Which, if we practice them, if we practice them, they will expand So the obsession to drink, 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 drink. And they will enable the sufferer to become happy and usefully whole. I'm so grateful to be here with y'all tonight. Thank you. Thank you for your life.
First I slept and then I crept to a hope-filled dream. You rescued me and finally waking there I see. I look into love's window for a soul that's meant for me. Takes me where the promises are real. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow, we get just what we need. On a broad highway, stride for stride, we walk eternally. I look into love's window for a heart that beats for me. Takes me where the promises are real. And I always long for something that sets me free. And I'd run to a world in harmony. See love as a vision that one day would appear to me. Take me where the promises are real. Take me where the promises